All right, so this is going to be exercise 3 of our silo simulator. Now let's go see what the requirements are. If we go help, student exercises, and of course our simulator. If we go down to 3, it says alter or rewrite the program so that the panel mounted selector can be utilized. So we have 3 modes of operation. Selector A says we're in continuous mode. That's what we did in exercise 1. B is manual restart. That's what we did in exercise 2, so we had to hit the start button. And when it's C, it's basically bypass. It completely ignores the filling. Start buttons will stop the control of the conveyor, and the run lamp will operate as expected. So basically, in A position, it's going to automatically go. B, we just program the B station in. So basically, if we do nothing and set it to B, B works. So that's cool. And then C, over here, will totally ignore the filling part. So, if we want to go back to A, the only thing we did in A was add this push button and motor. So, if I go in and put something, let's go put a parallel or a branch circuit around this to bypass it, all I have to do is say, well, let's bypass it with switch A. When switch A is on, we're in continuous mode. So, SW switch A. In fact, I am going to edit it a little bit funny and switch A continuous. If I can spell it right. If it might be spelled right. Whatever. Download this. Let's run this. Let's try it. If we're in A, fills it, sends it on its way, fills it, sends it on it. Oh man, it's working A. What if I go to B? It ignores the switch continuous, and now it's a 1 point. Now, I could go in there and say only allow these lines on option B, which would be almost the same thing as us putting A. So it's really the option of what we want to do to bypass these two. So I think it's easier. We don't even need B in the system if we don't want it to. But now, we know that if we're on C, it's going to bypass the fill part. So, how do we want to do that? We basically say if we're in B, the solenoid cannot work. So, I want to put something in this line that says if B is on, do not let this work. So if I do an examine if closed, or sorry, examine if open, and say in selector C, and I'll call this switch C bypass. Oops, put a. So anytime I am in switch C, it will not let it fill. Okay, it won't let it fill. That's awesome. But if I go to B, it will let it fill. And B is, of course, single stage, single. And everything, of course, stops. We fixed that earlier. And then continuous, everything still goes. But I need to figure out how to now bypass stopping this motor when we get to that prox now. Because it's basically ignoring the prox. So really, if I am in C, it's going to bypass all of this. Now, to do that, I could just put a parallel branch over this prox sensor. Let's go try that. This line is going to look very interesting. And I want this to be selector switch C bypass. Download, run. Let's see what happens. Automatic works. Everything still stops and goes. What if I go to single run? It's running beautifully. Look at that. What if I go over to bypass? Hey, it's bypassing everything. Nothing's filling. What if I hit stop? It stops. Wherever I hit stop, it'll stop. Sweet. Now, I don't think I missed anything, but if I go and look at the guidelines for this, A is continuous, B is manual restart, and C is fill bypass, and run lamp works like we expected. Awesome. So, in actuality, I think we just finished part 3.